What's going on, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of the Respect and Pray Show with your host, Miguel Mike Medina, Triple M. In this episode, this young man, he is doing so much. I'm talking about he's a podcast host, video producer, video editor, play-by-play commentator. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. For his career so far, he has an unblemished resume. So when I discover and find out who this person is, I just had to bring him on this show. So take a look at this interview, get to know more about him, and I hope you enjoy this one. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor to present to you Mr. Nicholas Durst. Nick, how's it going? Thank you for joining me today.
It's going well. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on your show.
No doubt. I got to start from the top. What made you fall in love with sports media in general? Tell us.
I would say when I was a child, just playing all these sports, watching all these sports with my father really made me fall in love with everything, and started off my sports love playing baseball, going to Mets games, and then expanded from there. I played soccer, eventually played basketball. I was watching football and hockey games. So just really loved playing sports growing up. Obviously not good enough to be a professional athlete. So, and the college, going into college, I wanted to focus on potentially doing sports broadcasting, and kind of focused everything in my college career that way. And I've been fortunate enough to work in some sports jobs over the years, and hoping for many more opportunities moving forward here.
Interesting. And you attended some of the most prestigious colleges, St. John's University. You did your BA there,
Yes.
mass communications, and then you went to NYU for your master's for sports business. How was it like to be in both of those institutions?
St. John's was great. I went to the Staten Island campus, and I really enjoyed the great community we had there with awesome people. Met a lot of great, talented individuals who I still keep in touch with till today, and was able to get some really great internships in my time there as well. So really enjoyed my time at St. John's, and I graduated a semester early from St. John's due to some high school credits I had, and decided to go straight into my master's degree at New York University. Met a few people who I still keep in touch with. And during that time at New York University, I got my first sports job, and I was working for the Brooklyn Cyclones as their on-air reporter. And that was a great season that I'll always remember very fondly.
You also worked at Bleacher Report as a production assistant. Will you say that Bleacher Report was the beginning of something that you said to yourself, I think I'm off to the races here?
I would say my thought process on that was definitely when I was working with the Brooklyn Cyclones. I had that idea there, and going to Bleacher Report was a tremendous experience, awesome time, awesome work environment. Didn't have to like get up in the morning and be like, oh, time for work, because I've had those jobs. Going there was fun every day. Got to work on some really cool creative content across all sports, and I'm unique where I watch all the sports, I follow all the sports. So working there was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, it was just a contractor job, but it was definitely a good start to the professional career for sure.
At CSI Sportsnet, play-by-play commentator, I know you've been there for 4 years now. From the top of your head, what's been the best game you've called so far?
So I would say off the top of my head, there was a game maybe 2 seasons ago, and this was a time post-COVID where there was no fans allowed at the stadium allowed in the stadiums there. And I got to work on a swimming broadcast for the Metropolitan Swimming Contest conference. They held it at Rutgers, and we broadcasted it for CSI Sportsnet on the ECC network. And there was no fans, and we had to really bring the energy and excitement because there was a lot of people watching at home, a couple of thousand people watching, and all the swimmers in there. The energy was electric, and it was just a great atmosphere. And we got such great feedback that some parents of the various school swimmers even emailed the athletic director and the president of CSI to say what a great job we did in the broadcast, and it was a lot of fun.
Favorite breakfast meal?
Not a breakfast guy, usually skip breakfast, but if I have to eat breakfast, I'm going to go with chocolate chip pancakes.
Good, good. Um, Favorite late night snack?
Late night snack, I it would depend on the season, different seasons, different things. But I would say if I'm going with a late night snack, typically I'm not eating that late, but I would either like go with some pizza or maybe a nice ice.
Your best three sports venues that you've attended?
Madison Square Garden is number one. It's an awesome, awesome place. Number two, I would go with the Citi Field, which is the current home of the Mets. And I would also, number one, would go to Chase Stadium. It was maybe a dump to some say, but such great childhood memories there, and really enjoyed everything there. And that was a place that I'm always going to hold well in my heart and memories. So sad to see it go, but a lot of great times there. So those are my three venues.
Which event would intrigue you to cover as play-by-play? The World Series, Game 7, or the NBA Finals, Game 7?
Ooh. So for me, it's crazy. Baseball is my favorite sport to watch, and basketball is my least favorite sport to watch. When it comes to broadcasting, basketball is my favorite sport to broadcast. It's just, there's always something going on. There's always more excitement, a lot of stuff going back and forth. So even though that I am a much bigger baseball fan, I would rather broadcast Game 7 of the NBA Finals, because it would just be so much excitement, nonstop action, and I feel like my commentary style goes really well with basketball.
Mike Breen or Marv Albert?
I'm going to go with Marv Albert. Yes. Grew up listening to him, and my family loved him. And it's kind of, how we got into my love of sports, listening to those 90s Knicks games with Mike Breen. He's awesome too. But between the two, I'll go with Marv Albert. Kenny Albert, Marv's son, great guy. Had him on my podcast, Do You Know Him Right podcast. And he was awesome. He's one of the best in the business right now. But I'll take Marv Albert and slight lead over Mike Breen.
All right, that does it for this game. Now, you're currently freelancing at Better Sports Network as on-air reporter and video producer. You have so many hats wearing. Describe the culture working there, and would you say this has been your favorite job so far out of all the jobs you have so far, or you could say it's just one of them?
Yeah, the culture is great because it's a work from home environment, and that's awesome. So yeah, I've worked jobs where I've had to commute 3 hours a day back and forth to Manhattan, and that's just a real drag and kind of crushes the soul. But working from home here is great. And my favorite stuff that I got to do with Better Sports Network, which would definitely be among a career highlight, would certainly be last past football season. I got to go work as a reporter for tailgates before Giants and Jets games. Got to meet a lot of great people, got to work on air, and got to interview people, which I love to do, interviews, and help me make my reel. So definitely say that particular position within the company, definitely one of my career highlights for sure.
You have said, and this is based on research that I did, You have said that you want to tell more captivating stories. Tell us, the audience, what are some of those stories that you want to tell going forward in your career?
Sure. I love interviewing people. I think that's how we learn so many different things. So what I do with my podcast, I'm right podcast, is I tell captivating stories, but I let the guests tell the story and I kind of guide them similar to how you're doing here, get their origin stories. And I kind of use that as an educational tool for anybody listening to see how they can get to that step. So whether it's me interviewing an Olympic athlete or me interviewing a sports broadcaster or a musician or a comedian or a reality star, whatever it may be, a business mogul, I'm going to ask them each step they took, how they got to where they are in their career. And to me, that's captivating content right there, because we could come on and we could talk about this guy's ERA or this guy's quarterback rating, but that is only going to captivate a certain audience. We're all humans here. So with the I'm Right podcast, we're going to try to tell that story and try to humanize that athlete or celebrity. And to me, that's what makes really strong content.
Amen. Amen. It's always important to know the background of how this person as reporter, anchor, etc., how they got there. So I'm glad that that you're that kind of person that you're eager to know more about. And that's one of the reasons why I reached out to you, because you, so far in your career, you have an unblemished resume. So congratulations on that. And to wrap it up, where can we follow you and your work?
So I'm on Twitter at Nick_Durst, DURST. And I am on Instagram at Nick's Food and Stuff. I do sports stuff there. I do food reviews there, very into the food world as well. So those are the two spots you could find me. You could find my podcast on Twitter at YKIR Podcast, and same thing for Instagram, YKIR Podcast on Instagram. And we're also on TikTok, Facebook page, I'm Right Podcast, and YouTube, I'm Right Podcast. And download the show, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts. That's where you could find most of my content. On the new threads as well, at Nick's Food and Stuff and at YKR Podcast. We'll see where that goes. But thank you so much for having me. And if anyone liked what I'm saying, go check me out, give me a follow, and let me know you listened to this awesome podcast here with an awesome host.
There you have it, folks. I'm going to put that information down below. Nicholas, very happy for you. Continue doing what you're doing. My respect and praise to everything that you're doing. I hope I can have you on board for my baseball podcast, which is on Spotify, to talk some baseball and more. So, yeah. And that's what we're here for, to collaborate with content creators, sports writers, etc. So again, thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview with me, and best of luck on everything that you're doing.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the time and the platform, and best of luck to you with both your great shows.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's the episode of the Respect and Praise Show. Hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm serious. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And you guys know the message. Have mutual respect, mutual love, and mutual admiration. So stay tuned for the next episode of the Respect